All right, Jesse on fire. So there is a report flying around about Jake's next opponent, and I have some breaking news about that. They're saying that he's fighting December 9th. They're saying who he's fighting against. And also, we're going to use this excuse to talk about some things that Logan said on Ariel's show about Jake Paul and about his own career in comparison to Jake Paul's career, because it just seems kind of notable. You know, just seems kind of notable when you're going to compare the two careers, because apparently Logan Paul thinks that Jake Paul is, he's the easy fight. You know, like people are terrified of Logan because they want to fight against Jake. Okay. You know, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that a little bit. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do that. I would appreciate it immensely if you would become a subscriber of this channel. So do that, like this video, etc. Now, the report is that Jake Paul is going to fight against Uriah Hall on December 9th. And I was like, oh, damn. And it's possible that I already recorded this video talking about that fight as if it was the next fight. And I did that, and we're going to show this video. But I just want to tell you on the front side that I talked to the matchmaker at MVP, and it's not true. It's not true. He's not actually fighting Uriah Hall. And yeah, it's complete. He actually, his exact words were, it's total bullshit. Okay. But the remainder of the video where I talk about Logan delusionally talking about Jake Paul, I actually pulled some of it from the other video that I'm dropping about Logan Paul, but I figure it's extraordinarily notable because that one went too long, and I wanted to talk about this too because Logan is a dick, dude. Like, he's a dick, man. He's stepping on his brother's head. Why? Why, dude? Why can't you just be happy for your brother? So anyway, I'm going to show you the video that I recorded. Just know that the Uriah Hall December 9th thing, not true. Total BS. So there's that. Yeah, so we're going to be giving a lot of respect to one of the Paul brothers and not a lot to the other. And that is also just in advance of me doing a live stream probably shortly. I'm not sure. I might do another video, but the rest of Ariel's show after he was talking about, him, Nate Diaz being, super scared of him. And that's why he wanted to fight Jake, because he's super scared of Logan. Right, bro. Right. Because you have how many knockouts? So we're going to talk about all that. After that, he doubled down on bankrupting Dylan and thinking that that's cool. And so bottom line, every time that he talks about that, you can expect me to do a response because I can't do it. I can't have a platform and allow that to slide, dude. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I don't expect that Logan's going to care. But I do expect that my platform's big enough that it's probably going to get people talking. I have now figured out that anytime I do a video about someone, they see it every single time, which means that when I do a video about this, enough people are going to see it that people are going to start talking. People are going to start talking. People are going to start thinking a little bit about whether we can allow a combat sports athlete to get away with this, right? Because there are rules to this thing, rules that you don't break. And anyway, we're going to get into all that, but first we're going to talk about Jake. So the story about Jake is as follows. I will show you guys. Bam! Okay. Jake Paul against Uriah Hall. That is awful. Jake Paul, Uriah Hall is the rumor. December 9th with a location TBD. Now, I realized as I looked at this, I'm like, okay, so this is just a post somewhere. This might be off Twitter or something. I don't know. I honestly have no idea if this is legit, but it sounds pretty legit because he needs another fight. Uriah Hall makes sense, and it'll be a couple months after his brother fights. So when you look at Jake Paul and what he's doing versus Logan Paul and what he's doing, which is not a thing that I would normally do because I don't hate on people. That's not what this brand is. Okay, I don't exist to get clout off of hating on people. That's just not what I do. Okay, but if someone is asking for it and then they're going public and saying crazy things like, I think that the reason Nate wanted to fight Jake is because he's scared of me. And you're like, wait, what? I'm sorry. What did he just say? And you're like, wait, why would you think that? Well, I went the distance with Floyd Mayweather. Right. What on earth does that have to do with anything? Now I want to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Factor Meals. If you're too busy to cook this fall, but you want to make sure that you're eating well, with Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping and the prepping and the cleaning up too, while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality that you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat and enjoy, then get back to crushing your goals. I personally am extremely busy all the time. This has been an incredible help to me. I cook them in 2 minutes. They're delicious and good for me. Now you can choose from over 34 weekly flavor-packed, fresh, never frozen meals that are ready to eat in 2 minutes. Or if you're a snob like me, you can level up with Gourmet Plus options prepared to perfection by chefs and ready to eat in record time. Treat yourself to upscale meals with premium ingredients like broccolini, leeks, truffle butter, and asparagus. Now I also needed an extra boost because I had some specific wellness goals that I wanted to hit this fall, and so I go with the Protein Plus option, which have 30 grams of protein per serving. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use the code JesseOnFire50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Once again, that is factor75.com, and the promo code is JesseOnFire50 for 50% off. Now, let me tell you something really quick. When I filmed that, I had not tried Factor meals. Now I have, and I cooked them in the microwave. Let me tell you why that's notable. I hate anything you cook in the microwave, and these are legit gourmet in 2 minutes. I swear to you. I ordered them myself. I am now a subscriber. If you don't like them, I will let you kick me in the balls. If you can find me. The greatest boxer ever. Right. Okay, we're going to come back to that. So, Uriah Hall is a very good striker, okay? He is a very good striker. Someone who absolutely has knockout power. He's very similar to Anderson Silva, right? So, now I will say this. If what Jake is doing, which is what Jake has stated, is that he wants to start going up the ladder boxing, this fight doesn't make a lot of sense, candidly. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But I'm not going to question anything that Jake Paul's doing because thus far he has made nothing but the right moves, including fighting Tommy Fury, in my opinion. You know, he's been going like this, and he's been demonstrating that he is a legit boxer who is getting better every single fight and doing and making tons of money. And his fights are super fun. We were there in Texas for the 100th time. It was one of the most fun times I've ever had at a fight. Matter of fact, it might have been the most fun I've ever had at a fight. So, I mean, we went to eight UFC events in 2022. We've gone to, I don't know, 3 this year. I take that back. The most fun I've ever had was at UFC Miami, but we were cage side in the front row when Izzy knocked out Pereira. That's a little bit different. But outside of that, probably the most fun we've ever had at an event. So, bottom line though, if you look at who Jake has fought, look at the progression of his career, and then look at Logan's. And then let's compare, okay? But first, just so you know that I'm not like BSing you, okay? Let's just watch Logan talk about this a little bit, and boom,
TKO. You've got MMA, you've got wrestling, boxing is next, and even Nate himself, Nate Diaz, had mentioned that they were trying to help put together that fight back in March. Is all of that accurate?
Yeah. They were.
And why, in your opinion, did it not come to fruition?
Oh man, you know why I think it didn't come to fruition? I mean, I don't know. I think Nate wanted to fight Jake.
Okay.
So, if you guys have not seen, the Impulsive episode when Jake was on there, Logan straight up told Jake that he thinks Nate fought Jake because he's afraid of Logan. Okay, he's afraid of Logan. Okay, so. Let's just compare, Let's just compare, okay? Logan fought against KSI, another creator who I have nothing but respect for. Anyone who puts in the work to get as good at boxing as any of these guys, including Logan, gets my respect. There's no shortcuts in this game, dude. If you want to get good at jiu-jitsu, you want to get good at boxing, you want to get good at wrestling, you want to get good at MMA, you want to get good enough to actually be able to compete and not look like a complete fucking retard in front of the entire world, there's only one way to do it, and it's hours in the gym. Putting in work, sweating it out, getting beat down by people better than you. That's the only way to do it. There is no other way. You can't go download it in the Matrix like Neo, okay? There's only one way to do it. And so as Jake progresses and gets better, KSI progresses and gets better, Logan progresses and gets better, I'm like, I respect their work ethic. I respect the focus. I have nothing but respect for it, okay? But KSI is an influencer who started at the same time as Logan, and he lost to KSI once, and then it was like a draw and then a loss, all right? Again, I'm not throwing rocks at you. I'm just stating objectively what your career is in boxing, okay? So that we can compare a person who has a realistic view of their career versus someone who does not, okay? So after that, he books the Mayweather fight. Amazing. Mayweather, do you think that Mayweather booked that fight against Logan Paul because he was like, man, Logan Paul, this guy's a monster. I wonder if my skills will hold up against Logan Paul in the ring. You think that's what he was doing? Or do you think maybe he was like, how many followers does Logan Paul have on social media? How many followers does he have? Like, what kind of numbers can this guy drive? Because basically what I'm in the business of doing now is going and beating up people who have no business being in the ring with me whatsoever, but getting a lot of money because they have a huge following, right? Like, that's what he does now. And so Logan seemed to be the bigger draw because at the time, Jake was still Logan's little brother at the time. And I also would just like to point out that the reason that fight got promoted as much as it did is because Jake Paul went and took the hat off of Mayweather and let these guys jump him. Now, whether that was real, not real, whatever, that was Jake promoting that, okay? That's Jake promoting that fight. Jake is a 100 times better fight promoter than Logan, period. There's no conversation here. Jake is a 100 times better promoter than Logan Paul. End of story. I mean, 100, I might be exaggerating. He is significantly better. A million ways that we can validate that. Jake is a tremendous troll. He's exceptional at this, okay? So they go in there and they fight, and Logan does not get knocked out by Mayweather, right? He doesn't get knocked out. So when he talks to Jake about why he's a better boxer than Jake, his answer is, are you serious, bro? I went in there with the best to ever do it, son. The best to ever do it. That's why I'm better. You're like, really? Okay, so a draw to a YouTuber, a loss to a YouTuber, and a draw against Mayweather. Whoa. Incredible resume. How many knockouts? 0. How many wins? 0. But you did it with Mayweather. Okay. Mayweather's 140 pounds, dude. Okay? Mayweather's 140 pounds. Like, I knew that he wasn't going to be able to knock you out. Logan's an enormous, super athletic, very strong athlete in his prime. Okay? Like, Mayweather is not a knockout artist at 140 pounds. He fights against 140 pounders. He's not a knockout artist. He's got broken hands, got brittle hands. So not getting knocked out by Floyd Mayweather is like, okay, good. Listen, man, you survived against Floyd Mayweather. Hey, Jake, what were you doing while you did that? He's like, well, I fought Ben Askren and starched him. I'm sorry. Whoa. Let me rewind. Started with creators, then went to NBA professional athlete and starched him. Okay. Then went to Ben Askren, former MMA world champion, terrible striker, starched him in a minute. Okay. Then fought Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley, a multi-time UFC champion who had lots of knockouts and nuclear power with his hands. Ballsy. I said, when Askren got knocked out, I was like, dude, and Woodley is one of his best friends. And I'm like, damn, if Jake Paul takes that Woodley fight, that would be ballsy, dude. I will have that was the moment where I was like, you know what? You'll never hear me say anything bad about Jake ever again. The second that he took, not that I ever had anyway, but like the second he took the Woodley fight, I was like, you guys need to get off this guy. Like, stop hating on this guy. He's taking a Tyron Woodley fight. Are you out of your, like, this guy was on Nickelodeon 5 minutes ago. He's going to fight Tyron Woodley? That's gangster. That is gangster. And he wins. He wins. Okay? Then in the rematch, he puts him into another dimension. Anybody still talking shit about Jake Paul's skills in the boxing ring? It's like, dude, what movie are you guys watching? Okay? He's putting guys into another universe. Tyron Woodley, flat unconscious on his way down. And people still are like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. You're like, why? They're like, oh, we think it was rigged. Oh, it was rigged? It was rigged. Tyron Woodley, just closed his eyes and let him knock him out? Okay? Tyron Woodley, okay? Jake Paul shows he's going to the body. Tyron Woodley goes to block the body. Oops, not a body shot. Overhand right, night-night. Then He books Anderson Silva, and everybody's like, what? Anderson Silva, who's not only one of the greatest strikers in the history of MMA, but who also has shown himself to be an incredible striker, or an incredible boxer, right? Jake beats him. It's not close. He definitely won that fight. Now, Anderson Silva obviously is older, but he's a real power threat who's a 200 and, he walks around probably 210, 215. Not 140, not 140. And Jake beat him handily. Then he goes fights an undefeated real boxer, Tommy Fury, loses, but looks pretty good doing it against a professional boxer in the Fury family. Then he fights Nate Diaz, and he doesn't gas out against an onslaught of cardio. He's the first person to knock Nate down with a punch. That's not true. Connor did. But in boxing, I don't think anybody expected that, dude. So that's Jake's resume versus Logan's. Who on earth could tell themselves that someone's afraid of Logan and would take Jake as hey, let me take the easy fight? Now, this is no offense to Dylan Dennis, but let's just consider Jake's resume, and then let's consider who Logan Paul's next opponent is, okay? Like, Dylan Dennis is not Anderson Silva. Dylan Dennis isn't even Tyron Woodley as far as his resume of striking. Now, Dylan Dennis would strangle any of the people that we've discussed in a jiu-jitsu match, for 100% sure. But striking, Jake has literally fought, okay, ready? What's wrong with, what are we doing? I forgot. I literally completely forgot what we're doing. What? He's fought Tyron Woodley, wait, what are we doing? Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, Tommy Fury, okay? Those are 4 guys who pose way more risk striking than Dylan Dennis. Nate Diaz, not a big knockout threat, but absolutely unending cardio. There you go. You got 5 guys. 5 that Jake has fought that on paper are a much bigger threat than Dylan Dennis. Logan is just on number 1 now. He's looking for his first win. How could you possibly tell yourself that Jake's the easier fight in your mind? Like, just because he's your little brother? Hey, dude, I don't know if you've been watching professional sports for a while, but once you guys hit about 22, where both of you are at least 22, that age thing stops being a thing, dude. Just stops being a thing. And where you tell yourself, I'll always be able to beat up my little brother. Yeah, that's kind of one of those mental things where you were giving him noogies and holding him down and beating him up his entire life. And so maybe you think you have a psychological edge. But if you're a regular person who's looking at both of you guys, you're like, man, which of these guys poses more risk boxing? If you really think that anyone is picking you over Jake, you are smoking crack, dude. It's just straight up delusional. And if it seems like I'm overreacting to this, it's because I am. Because what I'm really going to talk about here, again, is Logan doubling down on bankrupting Dylan Dennis. And I'm just going to keep hating on him. As soon as he drops a lawsuit, take it back, dude. As long as he's got a pending lawsuit with the intention of bankrupting someone who teased him on the internet, I'm just going to keep on piling shit down his throat. So, anyway, that's what I got for this video. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Fuck Logan Paul. Bye.